Hello everyone. In today's video, we're going to be talking about a um, a project that recently came out called Project Borealis, and it's a demo for those who don't know. It's a demo for the upcoming Half-Life 3 fan-made project, which has been in development for about 7-8 years for now. Um, and I wanted to basically break down the technicality and the technical problems and the feedback that I have for the dev team so they can improve their game, as well as talk about the modern game industry standards that some of them are not best practices, as Thread Interactive channel on YouTube stated themselves as well. I'm not a computer science student or anyone who's really good at being very geeky and techy with the optimization and stuff. However, there's with the things I have followed so far, and with the things I know with Unreal Engine, because I work with Unreal Engine all the time, and with the things I have done in the console, thankfully, to the developers, that they enabled the developer console just like the Source Engine version. I was able to look at some stuff and point out certain things, and I could also go around and finagle and see what was the problem with the game. However, I cannot really thank them enough and be proud of them for what they've done, because seriously, this is a fan project. There's no profits involved. It's a free project, and it's free on Steam, at least for now. And I cannot really, to be honest, I cannot really imagine. I cannot believe that they did this and released it, a demo that we can play around with. And hopefully this feedback gets to their hands and they can actually look at it and basically get to know the problems that they may need to solve and things that they need to improve on. But yeah, so let's just dive down and let's just go into the video.
Okay, so before I start this video, I cannot thank them enough again for doing what they've done so far, for implementing the Source Engine mechanics into Unreal Engine, which is not an easy job. But again, that I'm gonna talk about that because this video is not just gonna be technical geeky stuff. Because I'm not, to be honest, again, I'm not a computer science student or anyone who's really good at this stuff. I'm just gonna be mostly talking about the gameplay aspect, and alongside with the optimization methods that I know from my experience in Unreal Engine at least. So first of all, I'm just going to be turning off my camera, and so one thing I want to state is that before we actually dive deep, I want to be talking about Thread Interactive and their video on nanite and optimization, the price of realism. I'm going to be putting it down in the description below. Hi again. So definitely watch these guys. I would really recommend you guys to watch it and basically, because these people were the people that actually gave me the inspiration to like start this video, because I want to help Icebreaker Industries to capture what is known as Half-Life 3, because to be honest, all these Half-Life 3 projects that are fan made, all of them, they have come out, they all have cancelled. Project Borealis, something like that. One of them, like that recently the alpha came out, like got leaked or whatever. These are all cancelled, and this is the only hope we have for the true vision of Half-Life 3, at least the fan-made one. Still, it's we can finally put an end to this story. Anyways, so this video definitely is one thing that I really recommend you guys watching. Also, Thread Interact, like I'm gonna be putting them again down in the description below, so definitely watch them. The glorification of the modern game industry, like industry standards, such as the upscaling methods and all that, is something that needs to be really talked about, because it is a problem. It is a problem that still persists, and I don't know. This should be changed, because obviously, if you have a very, very, very powerful PC, you can run all this, right? And it's gonna look really good. But for an average person, because games are produced to be played by many people, right? And it's not just a tech demo or whatever. So it's, in this case, if that happens, if we keep having the upscaling methods such as TSR, DLSS. They're all different. They're good. Like having them is basically essential with the current day standards, which again, it's not really good, but it could be really useful. But however, you can just basically developers should make optimized scenes rather than relying on AI or upscaling methods to do the work for them and blurry, make things blurry and stuff. So I'm gonna be starting a new whole game, and I'm gonna be talking about it from again a gameplay aspect and someone who has some experience in Unreal Engine. I'm gonna be talking about them. So, my system is again 2070 Super, 32 gigs of RAM. Not a really big deal, you know. Yeah, Ryzen 7 3700X, and the game really manages to really bring down my system's power, like just draws my system power all the time. So let me see if I can first of all turn on the statistics for this. I recently just updated my NVIDIA, so sorry if I'm kind of like a, here we go. So I'm just gonna be turning on this. This is actually the best thing. Here we go. So I'm gonna be showing the advanced one. Okay, so the frames, obviously we're gonna look at them, and the CPU call it, like the draw calls, sorry, the GPU ones. Sorry, I'm just like, when I look at things as they're happening, my speaking just gets a little bit weird. So okay, here we go. So this is the first scene, obviously very simple scene, light with the ladder, which this is very cool, not gonna lie. It really gave me the feeling of a Half-Life game when I started this, with the whole Portal intro and this. It was really awesome. It was really awesome looking at this. It really gave me the feeling of, you know, how Half-Life Alyx, for example, used their portals and stuff. Like, it's not just Half-Life 2, but again, we're gonna be talking about that. So, well, one thing that I want to first mention that I realize that's happening. You can go back to this. I don't know if this was the vision for the developers. I mean, what I would suggest is them, for example, having a wall, and this just disappears, right? You just go you go from a void dimensional thing, whatever, to here, and it's the actual real world. Like how in Half-Life 2's intro, where we go from the void right to the train. So the train seat. So as you can see, my game is running at 40 frames, and as things, it's very interesting how this scene, for example, itself. I've spent a lot of time here around. First of all, I see that there's a lot of physics objects, and that's really cool. But at the same time, again, I could not. So I couldn't. I tried getting on Universal Unreal Engine Unlocker, so I could play around with actual frame capturing and really diving deep into it. But let me know if you guys can do it, because I couldn't do it. My game just kept crashing. So I don't know if the physics optimization, like for example, the objects that just disappeared. This is one of the beautiful Unreal Engine's magics, you know, like when you pick up a physics object and if it happens to be small or whatever, it does this all the time. So again, these are just things that I'm trying to point out. No hate towards the devs. I'm just trying to point out things that they can improve. And so obviously in Unreal Engine, if things you happen to, for example, bring it very with the interpolation with the physics handle system, if you happen to maybe like make this this could basically go through the wall. That's what I mean, because of the pressure it's on. So let me just like grab my suit, so I can, like, around the lights, which again, that's gonna be a thing I'm gonna be talking about, I get the worst FPS. And in fact, I could be standing here and everything's okay, but around lights and around effects and lights, my frames basically drop a lot. So I personally don't know if that was an intention to have any dynamic kind of shadows. I mean, that would be the best practice actually. But the fact that with the methods that are being used, for example, nanites, it really draws the GPU, like it basically wastes them in a way that they shouldn't. So I'm just gonna be going around, just gonna be going to the main scene. So this is the prologue. So, the first thing I'm gonna be talking about is this. Again, the physics is very well done. Again, doing physics in Unreal Engine is a little bit hard. How you code physics and stuff. I can. This is done with, for example, yeah, the brick just disappeared again. I don't know if it was just me. Oh yeah, here we go. That was just my problem. So, the Unreal Engine's physics handle system is a little bit finicky. It's cool, but it's finicky, and I can tell that there was effort somehow put into this. But the thing is, this game was in development. This demo was in development for 7-8 years, and I can tell it has been through a lot of processes and maybe rethinking over their decisions, the devs. But the main problem really came when I saw that the demo had so many visual stuff at least, but in terms of mechanics, it only had well, there was little to play around with. And for 7-8 years, for example, of development, I hope like, and I know that they have more to show us, so we can like actually dive more deep into it. So let's just go around and let's just talk about Nanite. So as you can see, I'm getting 30 frames here with, well, not bad. Again, I have like global illumination on, which is horrible, and I have like all these upscaling methods off. So I'm gonna be turning off global illumination, okay, and I'm gonna be also, so the moment I do this, you can see, for example, there's not a lot that changed, but the frames are more consistent. For example, like, I don't have to worry about the global illumination process that Unreal Engine goes through. So one thing, so once you turn on the developer console, which again I really recommend you doing that, and I turned off Nanite because Nanite is on for the snow and a lot of things. So you see a significant FPS increase, at least by 10. That's again with the highest settings possible. So obviously the snow particles are not as good as before, because the snow particles and all these textures that you see that are loading and materials, they're all use nanite, and to be honest, that is not the best practice when you're making games, because nanite is something that is, I don't know why industries use it, like industries try to glorify it, or maybe YouTube channels. This is something that needs to be reworked and actually work with LODs for meshes, and try to make an optimized scene rather than just having nanite. But other than that, I'm just gonna be playing the game without nanite, and I'm just gonna be very cool. That's just the models are very detailed. That's one thing I really love. Team. They really did a fantastic job, like, of capturing the what's it called? Sorry, the vision for Project Borealis, and the AI in ways are really again, they need work obviously, but so I'm just gonna be destroying this. So one thing I also realized is that the nanites really, again, affects performance in significant ways. So like, if I happen to also so lumen, I'm just gonna turn off lumen, okay, in every single way possible. So I'm gonna be r.lumen, and I am gonna be turning the SSAO. Here we go. So, and r.lumen. So I will try to make this. I'm gonna turn off all this. Again, I don't know if these are on by default, and that's how I r.lumen async compute 0. Okay, so again, we're stuck at 40 frames. However, again, this is being run at maximum quality. So I'm gonna be also turning off the ray tracing, r.lumen hardware ray tracing, and I'm gonna be turning that off. And well, it was not on already, so Never mind. Sorry about that. So the scenes are like, for example, this scene, very well made. I really see the atmosphere in it. However, again, the problem comes with the fact that I don't know if the physics objects are supposed to be, are always turned on, because in Unreal Engine, there are the physics objects. If you don't have them turned off, for example, in a distance or whatever, that can create a very messy scene with a lot of problems. But again, I don't have nanite enabled, so if you have nanite enabled, obviously you're gonna have the snow effects and particles, and you can actually see this. But again, this could be done without nanite as well. You shouldn't necessarily use nanite for this, because it really consumes a lot. So I'm gonna be turning off nanite, and here we go. So I'm gonna be going through this. We have the which I see that a lot of my friends that also played this then all told me that the particle system that we happen to see is very how can I say this? So this is a very cool frame, by the way, they captured. You know, for the whole portal thing. Also the fact that you can actually shoot it and it reacts to you is very cool. However, one thing that I noticed is that the amount of dense physics objects in the scene really really brings the optimization and kills the optimization and the frames in this game. So temporal AA, I'm just gonna be making this into 0.6, and so again, not a lot of difference, but I can tell this is a very dense scene with a lot of lighting. But the real problem actually comes when you have the shotgun and you're shooting for example metallic surfaces. So I see this particle thing like that gets spawned and falls to the ground, which, to be honest, it's kind of weird. Again, this is a bait. This is not even an alpha. This is a demo. I'm just pointing out things. I really love this. The fact that I saw physics objects floating around, and they're actually like there's a box collision area, I can tell, that does that, and it's very cool. So this scene in particular had a lot of problems when I saved my game and I loaded it back in. I don't know if it's still there, but basically I could not kill anyone with it. So just first of all, let me yeah, I'm not a very big Half-Life fan. I played them, but I don't know the terminologies, whatever people use in the Half-Life community. So, okay, so it comes to the shotgun. So this is what I was talking about. So if I happen to go to a metallic surface right now and I start shooting it, a very significant FPS drop can be seen. And as you can see, I'll try to show it better maybe. This is something, again, with the way the lighting is handled, that probably this is a very dynamic light or something. I really don't know. I tried to look into it a lot, but as you can see, I don't know, it doesn't say up there, but the FPS, you can see the frames. Like, I couldn't even move my camera around for a sec. Again, very cool scene, very cool showcase of the atmosphere. However, for example, so, oh yeah, speaking of that, this area in particular, I kept killing myself with it. So if I turn this on, I happen to die from it when I loaded my game back in or something. I mean, maybe it doesn't work now, but so I'm just gonna be going around very quickly. So yeah, this is where there's a lot of metal surfaces. Okay. So the AI also is very cool, but the fact that it sometimes things just get spinning around, and just things like the corpses that you see really don't disappear. That could also probably be the fact that that could contribute to the optimization, because these all have physics that at least maybe disable the ragdoll in distances. That could be one thing. So when I'm just shooting the again, you can see the frame, if it's in a distance, so it doesn't drop, but you see this particle effect dropping that gets spawned. That really looks, to be honest, a little unprofessional. But for example, this scene here has a very cool glimpse and atmosphere into it, which is not gonna lie, it's very cool. It captures the whole dimensional, like, Half-Life feeling, you know, things getting very weird when you go around and stuff. So I don't really have a weapon right now. I'm just gonna try. Like, playing this with 24 frames really doesn't help, to be honest. I tried turning it down myself, for example, the texture details, but not a lot changes. Like, also on the Steam reviews, things like that is being said all the time. So if I happen to turn it, I turn that down. I'm gonna turn down the effects, shadows, view distance. Maybe I'm gonna put it to medium. I'm gonna put this into low, and let's just put this into 4, for example. You see, like, not a lot changes. It's still the same. Well, it did with like 3 frames. But again, if I could really capture the universal unlocker for the Unreal, it really doesn't work, and I wish I could use it. So this door also doesn't open, I realized. Actually, my first playthrough, I thought that's the end of the demo. I don't know what was that noise, but I had to, like, I've seen people having to, like, look around all the time, trying to interact with everything possible to try and get it. So I don't know if I can. Like, I saw someone, like, walk. Yeah, basically I had to stand here, and it was like that. So I have my, well, this is also the final fight scene. So I'm just gonna be these guys very quick. This place has this scene has better frames, at least compared to the other ones. Again, I have nanite turned on. If I turn on nanite, which is on by default, the frames are not the best. You might say it is, but when it comes to actual fights that I had with the physics objects, and for example the cable component, like the cables that are there, things happen to be very well. Right now I turned everything to the lowest settings, obviously, as well. But when I had that was a very big problem that I just could not just, like, kept going around with it. So I don't know where the other again, very cool atmosphere. I love this, but I've realized that the amount of performance that's being sacrificed because of the dynamic lighting that I can see that's happening all the time is something that's really not really necessary to have. So again, nanite is really good if you have, as Thread Interactive themselves stated, and I went and researched a little bit about it. It's really good if you have 14 screens and you have a lot of, like, the better basically your screen resolution is, the more you're gonna see it. It's not really effective to have it. So if I, for example, turn nanite off at this point, right, you see that the frame is 53, 56, 57. Okay, and if I happen to turn it back on, we see that there's about like 2-3 frames that are being sacrificed, at least in this scene. This scene is one of the most optimized scenes, actually, out of all of them. Out of all of the ones I've played. So yeah, I like how they have this little thing here. But anyways, so having this guy's also floating with the A pose. Just, yeah, maybe having, because I get it that they're trying to really capture the original vision of Half-Life and 3, and in general make the engine look like what's it called? Make it basically look like what's sorry about that. Make it really look like the Source Engine gameplay. I think personally that's not really the best practice. Again, that everyone thinks differently, because the most problem actually is like a lot of the problem that we are seeing, like for example, if you're looking at that, I turned everything to low, but if you're looking at that, like there are problems that can be spotted here and there. So the game, I really give him a round of applause for releasing this. However, the problem again comes with the fact that it's not optimized. It is for the 7 and 8 years of development. Like they could have spent a lot of time, like for example, just making the game in the Half-Life Source Engine, because I can tell this is very cool and very good looking, but at the same time, you're basically just trying to copy Source Engine and what they do in Unreal Engine. Plus, I'm not gonna go over the fact that Half-Life is always supposed to be very innovative and stuff, because it always was. But again, this is a fan project. They're dedicating their time on their own without any profit, and this is something that they're doing as a passion. The fact that this exists is huge. But again, I'm just saying that a lot of the mechanics that we're seeing here, and a lot of the things, it's just basically copies of Source Engine and how they how it basically operates. Which again, making it Unreal Engine is very hard. But a lot of the showcase things that they showed in the update 6 video, or in general the updates, was, for example, the snow particle is not really hard to achieve. The cable component, sorry, the cable system that they showed, that's the cable component in Unreal Engine that you can just like attach two things on the two ends of the cable and have them work around. And for example, the physics system, obviously for grabbing things with the gravity gun, is a physics interpolation with a hit trace that gets done that you can grab things. I'm not saying this is bad. I'm just saying, like, for example, they could have maybe spent a lot of time working on the level design, maybe. Then, for example, you know, trying to develop all this in Unreal Engine, because Unreal Engine's physics is really weird. Plus, again, this by the way, the mesh destruction is kind of cool as well. I mean, it's you know, at least it's interactive, and you can actually chop them off with the little plate things. But very I got very in a way upset that, you know, basically a lot of the modern game industry practices are being done in even indie games these days that at least use Unreal Engine, because really, after all, making games, I try to at least make games. I don't I only have like one project out there, but it's really hard. But and if it's not done correctly, it can lead to a lot of issues with optimization, with game design aspects, with everything. So I really see this project really going forward really well. However, if they happen to not address and maybe fix the optimization and the performance issues that we're having, and necessarily not rely on super sampling modes like DLSS, that would be very good. I mean, right now, if I have the frame generation on, it would be very nice. Obviously, DLSS in general tries to capture a very good, you know, tries to capture a very good, like, vision in general. So in here, well, obviously I turned it up, so that's why the thing turned off. But in general, so if I happen to turn this down, even though it's not really good, yeah, I get about 66 frames, but you can see that's the problem with these super sampling methods. Like, you see this is very visible over there. Or Sorry if my camera was on, like over there. You can see it's very visible. Or, for example, the little weird issues that we see here. So in general, just not using and not relying on super sampling methods and nanites especially, and actually trying to make optimized scenes as the best option that they can go for. And since they have started their work in Unreal Engine and they're gonna finish it on Unreal Engine, um, there's no obligations to that. But just it's one thing that I just wish they did it in the Source Engine, because, you know, it could save them a lot of time and they could spend time on content creation rather than making mechanics. So yeah, I'm happy with where this is going. I mean, at least I hope, because for now, um, there is something that we can play around with again. But I hope this video, even though again I'm not a very techie geeky guy who goes over the optimization methods and stuff. I just looked at the Threat Interactive's video, and I also gained my own knowledge from my experience in the game making, in this, like, game making in general, making games. And I just basically try to, give an honest feedback as also a player who played this and multiple times. So yeah, great job to the dev team, and just I hope this video really is seen by them, because I want I want this project. That's the reason I'm making this video, because I want this project to succeed. The fact that I saw the release date and I was like, whoa, this is a thing, that actually blew my mind off. But yeah. Thanks for watching this video, and thanks for the ranting. I just gave an honest feedback mostly about the things I saw. This is just my personal opinion. If there's anything wrong or anything bad, I'm sorry about it. I'm not the best at, I'm still learning how to make games and stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, and let me know down in the comments what you think. What are the things I missed, maybe? Um, Let me know if you got Universal Unreal Unlocker working to work for this game, at least for this demo. And yeah, I would be happy if you guys share this around, so that it could be seen, and you know they can actually gain feedback from the game design aspect and optimization. Thank you for watching.